that said, now this is out of, all of the dating sites that they looked at, and I can't remember exactly who did the research, but it talked about there were a majority of people that were not telling the truth. And when someone says majority, they mean over 50%. So I don't know how much over 50%, but uh, more than half are not going to be telling you the truth. So going into it knowing that, you want to set up some parameters to protect yourself, and we'll get into some of the details. The other thing that the research said was that 1 to 2 out of 10 will find a legitimate partner. So the odds aren't that great, but it is possible. And the other thing is, what is the age level, age category that you're looking at? So the more senior people that we're talking about, they tend to find partners. So that percentage goes up a little higher because the seniors tend to be a little more honest. So, and and they're more honest in terms of, no, I don't want to get married again. I really don't want to have a quote relationship, but I do want someone that will go out, have dinner, go to the movies, do social things with. And some people, well, I just want a travel companion. I just want a friend. Friend meaning platonic, no kind of emotional, real involvement or commitment. So their stats go up higher, which I was glad to see that. The problem with seniors and scammers is that you have the people, Nigeria, unfortunately, is known for having scammers. And so there are some red flags that you can figure out right off, and then you can, sort those out and start looking at who could possibly be someone to meet those requirements. Friend, travel person, or relationship and marriage, if that's what you're looking for. So I am online, and I usually have profiles on 2 to 3 different sites. The sites that I like, and unfortunately I don't get any money for talking about them, but the sites that I like is Silver Singles, Our Time, and oh gosh, there was another one. Singles, Our Time. I think it's Talkify. I don't use Talkify that much, and that's a whole different kind of website. Now, the thing about African American women is that there are not a lot of African American men on the websites. So, but what I have found is that when they are on there, they tend to be pretty honest, legit people, especially on the Silver Single site and the Our Time. Oh, Bumble is another one. I've been on Bumble. But the thing is with all of those sites is that unless you're willing to date interracially, you're going to take a while to sort through who's available. So mostly white males are on those sites. But other than that, I have met 3 really nice persons on Silver Singles. I met some really nice people to just talk to on Bumble. I like Bumble. Now they've changed their format a little bit, but when they started out, the women got to pick who they wanted to talk to. So there was a little sense of control there.
Yeah.
But my experience has been that you do have to sort through the scammers. So one of the signals about scammers, they'll smile or wave or wink, whatever that initial contact is. So on Silver Singles, they smile. So you get a smile, and then you smile back. And if they respond, they'll say, oh, I like something about your profile. And you can say, okay, I checked your profile. I like your profile too. And then they'll say, you look beautiful, which is always nice to hear.
Yes.
You look beautiful. I thought your profile was interesting. But my subscription's about to run out, and I want to know if you'll talk to me on WhatsApp. That's a red flag.
Ooh.
Now, sometimes people's subscription really is running out, but the thing is, what you can say back is, well, if you want to develop this contact, if you're really interested, then extend your subscription. Because you can extend a subscription for a month,
Yeah.
And it's not that much. If they're not willing to do that, then do as the young kids say, ghost them. You have no responsibility to respond to anybody. So if they can't extend it and you can stay on that site, then let it go. The other thing is, I've been on some sites where, like this one guy, he said, "Oh, I'm Reverend so and so of such and such church, and I have a Facebook page." And I went to the Facebook page, and it was some weird thing. They had outer space and planets and all this, and he had this really weird kind of robe on, you know how they do like that, and the robe's hanging, and I was like, well, this is really weird. So I said, oh, I checked your Facebook out, that's really different. Is that a Christian church? And he was like, yes, we believe in the Lord, and da 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 da, but I did want you to know that I'm not anywhere permanent, and I could move to Texas and be with you.
Ooh.
Okay, now this is like second or third contact.
Yes.
Okay, so the next thing is you might find somebody that you can talk to, and they're doing all the nice things. You respond, they respond, you start to find out about each other, and it seems like they're being very honest. Well, I had one guy, we were talking back and forth, just the basics. What's your sign? My sign is. Where do you live? And he was saying he lived in Austin, but he didn't really live in Austin. He said he was a contractor. So he was there working a contract. So I'm like, okay. And he said, but I'd be willing to come to San Antonio and we can meet in person. And I'm like, okay, that's nice. And so we started talking and asking more serious questions. And what are you looking for on this website? How long you been on the website? Those kinds of things. So then I said, okay, let's meet somewhere. So we agreed we would meet in person. He would drive down. So then the next day, because this was like a Thursday, on that Friday, he texted me and said, what happens if I don't want you to leave? And I was like, that's interesting. So I didn't respond. Well, in another 30 minutes, now this is going to be X-rated. In another 30 minutes, I'm going to warn you up front.
All right.
I get another text, and he says, I think I would like to have a golden shower. And I was like, I can't believe this. Now, this was on Black People Meet.
Mm-hmm.
And someone had told me, you got a lot of crazy people on Black People Meet. Black seniors meet, Black people meet, Black professionals meet. They said there's a lot of scammers on there. And I have found that to be true. In my experience, I've had more scammers on those websites. So when this guy said that, I said no. So I blocked him. I got off the website. I closed everything down. I shut it down. I think I even had to pay another month or two. I didn't care. I was like, too many scammers on there, because on that website, guys would say, oh, yeah, you know, I'm ready for love. And one guy, I looked him up, and he was married. Another guy, I looked him up. When I say looked him up, if you get a phone number, you can go online and put the phone number in.
Right.
And you can do that for free. Now, there's some things that you can pay $1, $5, and they'll do a more extensive background check. But this one guy, he was out of Atlanta, and his phone number was in a woman's name. And there were 3 other names on there besides his name. So it was a family plan. And so I was talking to him, and I said, you know, looks like you have a family plan. And he goes, how'd you find that out? I said, that's okay. I go, but what's the family plan about? Oh, that's my sister. I said, okay, usually sisters don't have the same last name. I go, but okay. And again, I blocked him because obviously it was not a sister. So you just have to look for all these little red flags, because some of them are really good. There's one guy had an accent. That's the other thing you got to be careful about. Accents. And I'll tell you what, I'm thinking of several of these different ones. So one guy, I was looking for a puppy, and he had the brand. This isn't about dating, but he had the breed of dog that I was looking for. said he was in Wimberley, Texas, and there was a woman's picture on the thing for contact, on the whatever ad for the contact about the dog. So I called and I said, I'm calling about the dogs you have for sale. And this Nigerian African accent responded, and it was a male. And I said, why do you sound like a man? I said, because on your ad, it's a woman. Well, they said, I am a woman. I said, well, you sure have a deep voice. I said, so how far is Wimberley from San Antonio? He goes, just a second. So he had to go look up how far Wimberley was. Okay, that's not so much of a flag. But then I said, how's the weather in Wimberley? He goes, oh, it's sun shining. And I said, really? And he said, yeah, the sun's shining. I said, okay. I said, because it's raining in Wimberley right now.
Oh.
I said, so what part of Wimberley are you in? He goes, just a second.
Wimberley's not that big.
It's not. And so I said, I think you're a scammer, click. So he was going to get my little money for a puppy and then disappear.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And so, and some of the guys are women, because women scam too now. Women scam too. They'll say, oh, I got a baby and I'm not working. I don't have the money. Can you help me pay my electricity bill? And some guys will cash app that money to them, and then they don't hear from them anymore. Because you figure if somebody sends you $20, $30, you figure, okay, it's not going to hurt somebody $20, $30. But you got 10 people doing that in a day. That's $300 in a day.
Easy.
That's a good 8-hour full-time job. And so if they scam that many people every day, they making some good money.
That's their 8 hours.
That's their 8 hours.
That's their 8 hours.
Yep. And so, the scamming is something else. Now, some of the safety tips are, okay, so I have clients, and one client, she was online. She was doing great. She made contact with a guy, and then she had him come to her house.
Oh.
And I was like, no, you can't do that. And she said, well, he's a businessman, and I checked him out, and da-da-da-da. Well, people in business can be scammers too.
Exactly.
So it's always best to do a coffee date first, because that way you're not stuck for a long time. It can be as short as 10 minutes, which I've had a 10-minute coffee date.
I got something. Something just came up.
I didn't even do that. I just said, I did what I take my driver's license. And I'll say, here's my driver's license, so you know I am who I say I am. Where's your driver's license? I don't have my driver's license. I said, okay, well, that's, first of all, you're driving without your license. That says a lot about you. Second of all, I feel like you don't even look like your picture, so peace out. It's gone. And so you don't owe anything to anybody.
See, you just said something that reminded me. And when I was single, I was dating, this one lady sent her picture. Looked good and everything. I said, okay, we can meet. So we go ahead and meet, and I go in a restaurant, and I'm looking. I don't see that person. Then finally, this lady said, hey, are you Ron? I said, yes, I'm Ron. Well, I'm so-and-so. I looked at her. I said, you don't look like the picture. Oh, that's a picture of my daughter. And I said, well, why'd you do that? If I showed you my picture, you maybe didn't want to go out with me. I said, I really don't want to go out with you now. It lasted 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And I was gone.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Why try to be something? Or better yet, why do you use your daughter's picture?
Exactly. Well, I think we talked about that last time. That's a lot of lack of self-esteem. It's not a person of integrity.
Right.
You don't want to start any kind of relationship, friendship, acquaintance with someone that can't be honest. And here's the thing is that for women, because I can only really speak from the woman's perspective, but what I've found is when you take care of yourself, men will be attracted to you. It doesn't matter what your size is. It's about your integrity. It's about how you present yourself. Are you smiling or are you frowning? So and that's one of the things I talk about with my clients is radiating to attract that soulmate, and that radiating is from a positive place, and that's what's attractive. And so yeah, we all want to lose weight because there's a health issue involved
Right.
with being overweight, and you can control and prevent a lot of things by keeping your weight down as best you can. And so but men they're attracted to big girls, so that should not stop someone from feeling confident. And you
Right.
want to dress appropriately that makes you feel good and makes the best presentation for you. So that's one thing that, well, I'll start dating when I lose weight. No, start dating now, because you're a beautiful person and people will see that. So start
Right.
dating now, but do it safely. And so some of the other things are get a burner phone. Get a phone or get a landline, get something that you don't have to put a lot of money into, and use that number for initial conversations. So I have a burner phone and I have a landline, and that's when I've used the landline, people try to text, and it's like, I can't text you. I go, yeah, because that's a landline.
I like that.
So they're like, you're not going to give me your cell phone? Nope, not until we talk and I feel comfortable. I said, I'm on here, I've been on here, and I'm only going to do the things that I feel safe about, and I've only talked to you twice. And so the other thing is, if they give you their phone number, check out the phone number.
Yeah.
Not just online, but is it a real area code? Okay, and so you want to check those things out. You can do background checks very easily. You can put their names, just put their names in Google, and things will pop up. Go to Facebook, see if they're on Facebook. Do your own background check before you get out there. There is a way to see if people have criminal records also. Doesn't mean if they have a criminal record they're a bad person. It just means, are they being honest with you? Are they being upfront? I met a guy who has a record. He's a felon. He did not go to jail over it, but he was on, what do you call it, parole?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he was on parole, and he was a professional. He was a medical professional. And he had gotten wrapped up in some stuff that happened in Mexico. I mean, he told me the whole story. And so he ended up with a record. And he was up front. First date, said what was happening and all of that. Really nice guy. Really nice guy. We just didn't jive. But I would have dated him more than a couple of times. I think we went out on like 3 dates. Really nice guy. But I said that I was open to marriage, and he wasn't. And,
Oh.
and I didn't mean it. We couldn't date, but
Yeah.
he was so afraid of getting married again. So I was like, okay, fine, cool. But, and that's the thing, too. If you just meet somebody and you go out on a few dates, don't personalize it if your goals don't match. It's
Right.
okay. Don't take that personally. And a lot of people get shook up over that stuff when... See, I just dated myself saying shook up.
Shook up. All right. We know what era that is. We're not going to say, but we know which one that is.
Yeah. And so, but don't personalize it. And it's okay. You're going to find someone that has similar goals. And the thing is communication. Now, online on the profile, there's some other things. If you see a guy with a picture where he's in the bathroom and his shirt is off, keep going. That is not a good representation of someone. And they're thinking they're all sexy with the belly hanging out in front of the mirror in the bathroom. No. Bellies aren't bad, but you, again, can dress appropriately. You're trying to make a good impression. So those things where you clearly see they're in the bathroom. The other thing is, if they haven't taken the time to make a nice background, they're not going to take time to take care of their home if you happen to get together. So, check the background in the pictures. Everything has a meaning. And so I've seen guys where they got clothes all over the floor and, and they're taking a selfie, and it's like, dude, no, take the time. And take the time to put some decent clothes on. Um, I've seen some guys, senior guys with beards, but their beards are scraggly and their hair is scraggly. And it's like, remember, you're trying to date somebody,
Right.
so take a little bit of time and do some grooming. And if you see somebody like that, keep swiping because they're not interested in taking care of themselves, let alone being with you and having a good relationship.
You brought up pictures, and one of my pet peeves, I know my wife is listening. When I was dating, I would go on site and see that, and the thing that turned me off is a person taking pictures in the hotel room. I said, what?
Mm-hmm.
In a hotel room. So that's telling me something else.
Right.
For me being, why are you in the hotel? How come not outside or somewhere? Because that's a turnoff when you see somebody taking pictures and they're inside a hotel.
Right. Right. So to take pictures for online, first of all, you might need an upgrade in your wardrobe. Doesn't take a lot to upgrade, but something that makes you feel good when you take the pictures. But take a selfie. Take a full body picture. On my website, Senior Seeking Soulmate, I put some how to dress for a coffee date on there. On my TikTok, I put some on there. The Facebook page, Senior Seeking Soulmate, there's some pictures there of how to dress for a coffee date. And take a full body picture. Keep it modest. There are some pictures out there that are just there's nothing left to the imagination. We'll put it that way. Nothing left to the imagination. Now, that's asking for trouble if, as a woman, you're taking those kind of pictures and then they wonder why someone comes on to them and then they ghost them. Well, be presentable. Think of it as a professional endeavor rather than just dating. Now, if that's what you want, there's some sites for you that are like just hookup sites. If that's what you want, fine. We all grown. But if you're really looking for someone to date and have some kind of relationship, you want to be presentable. So on my profile, I have where I have some pants on, where I have a dress on. I'm out at the beach and I have a beach cover up. I'm walking down the beach. I put a little video on there. Some of the sites you can do a video, you can do a little sound thing, but I'm dressed appropriately and I have different pictures that show me from different perspectives, and they're current. They are current pictures.
Not the ones them Polaroid shots that's done back in the days.
Exactly.
And you scan it or take a picture of it and put it on there.
No. Those aren't going to, I would say 6 months to a year. No older than that. But
so let me ask you something.
Mm-hmm.
The ladies they're looking for, do they want a guy that's still stuck in the 70s with his hairstyle bald on top and still wearing a ponytail back there? Because I see things like that and they don't want to let it go.
Yeah.
Is that one of the hiccups right there?
Well, it depends. That's why you want to talk and ask questions and stuff. I would look at it if someone is, checking all my boxes and stuff, and that's one of the few things that I would say, I don't know, I could work with that. I would probably have a conversation at some point if it progressed about, all this bald up here and ponytail in the back.
Yeah.
That's not your best representation. But that's the thing you want to look at. You want to have your desires of the heart list, and then what are your deal breakers? So if I see somebody on a website and they got that picture in the bathroom and no shirt on, I'm not even going to pursue that. But they got a little bit of education, they're working, or they're retired. They have some nice pictures presented on there. They've got a decent conversation. When they're texting on the site and they can put a nice sentence together.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have those typos in the, what do you call it, spell correct, it automatically autocorrect. And, so some of those things, but if they're at least attempting to write a decent sentence and not a whole bunch of misspelled words, then okay. And some things in common. I like to travel, and I met a guy who's very nice. One of the things on my desires of the heart list is that I want someone that is a practicing Christian. Because I've been in relationships where someone said, "Oh, I'm a God-fearing man," and they may be, but they don't ever pray, they don't read their Bible, they don't go to church, they don't fellowship, and some of those things are workable, but I want someone that really on their own prays and has, reads the Bible and those kinds of things. And so this person is a chaplain. And I was like, wow, that check, check, check.
Yeah.
Right. But my aunt said, okay, don't let that clergy stuff fool you. And I was like, oh my goodness. And so, they said, yes, they like to travel. I'm like, all right. They said they would be willing to travel for a relationship. Matter of fact, this person said, I would like to go on a coffee date. And I was like, yeah, but you're in Mississippi, I'm in Texas. And he says, I would travel for a coffee date. And I was like, okay, whoa. And he did. And so it was like, all right. But the travel one, his idea of travel and my idea of travel are different. I like to go on 10-day cruises. I like to go out of country. I like to travel all over the United States.
Yeah.
So I have that freedom because I'm retired. And his idea of travel is maybe on the weekend somewhere local. Even though he's been in the military, he's been all over the world, he doesn't want to go out of the country. And, and that's valid. There's a lot of things going on in the world. But they even booked a trip with me and then canceled the trip and lost a lot of money. And I'm like, okay, so that's not going to fly. So because that's one of my deal breakers. I want someone that will travel. Maybe they haven't traveled as much as I have, but they're willing to travel. That's what I want. I want to go. One of my dates is to go. Oh, Steve Harvey had perfect date on Facebook. He and Marjorie, excuse me. He and Marjorie, they were up on a rooftop slow dancing to some really nice romantic music. And in the background was the Eiffel Tower.
Oh,
it was beautiful. And I was like, that's the kind of date I want.
Yeah.
And so one day I'm going to have that date. So, but yeah, someone that shares those kind of visions and fantasies and willing to make it reality is what I'm looking for. Someone that is a gentleman, someone that's willing to protect. I mean, I can take care of myself. I was an MP in the Army. I know how to fire a weapon, and I can carry a weapon and fire it and have no problems. And so, so I can take care of myself, but it sure is nice when you have a protector by your side.
Yes.
So
I know what you mean.
Those are the kinds of things. And, I want someone that likes to have fun. My mom said, I don't know what it is about you, but ever since you being a little girl, you always want to have fun. And I am. It's not girls want to have fun, but Charlene likes to have fun.
So let me ask you this one question. What is it with some ladies that has a list of what they want their man to be?
Well, the list is important. My list is the desires of the heart, which has to do with values, okay, and things about compatibility. I could put on my list someone that has an annual income of $150,000. That could be on my list, but that's not saying anything about their value system, whether we have compatibility, whether we would even like each other just based on their salary. So if you start putting the list, oh, they must be 6 foot tall, you don't know how your package is going to be wrapped by God. God will send you the perfect person for you. And if you have these kinds of only 6 foot, only black, only over 100,000, only drives a luxury car, you're not going to find nobody.
And, not to put a jab in there, if he has all that for himself, what does he need you for? What's on your list? You know.
That's becoming the partner that you desire. If
Mm-hmm.
you have a list like that, are you making over 100,000? Are you making six figures?
Mm-hmm.
Are you driving a luxury car? Are your finances in order? Are you a nice person?
Yeah.
Are you a, what is it? Used to be 36, 24,
36.
36. You know, are you healthy? Are you all of these things that you're talking about? You want somebody else? That partner is someone to enhance your life, not to fill in where we're not to make you happy. Happiness and joy comes from inside. And that's why we work on self-assessment in my course, becoming the partner that you desire. So, I mean, it's cool if somebody's making that kind of money and all
Yeah.
of that. That's
But
cool.
what was funny one time I was walking, I was somewhere at an event somewhere. I listened to the ladies talking. They said, "Child," that's how she said, "Child, I want a man that has a six pack." And I looked at her, and I just looked, and I turned back this way. As they said, "Is there anything? No, everything's fine." Well, I seen you look at it. I said, "No, everything's good." I never did tell them what it was, but you don't have a six pack.
Exactly.
But you want a man with a six pack. But then the conversation came up again. Me, some other, we were all talking, and he said, "Ron, what do you think about a guy having a six pack and a lady don't have and all that stuff?" I said, "I got a six pack." They said, "You do? Show me." I went to the freezer, brought a six pack of beer. Here's my six pack. You didn't say
I
what type
love
of
it.
six pack.
I love it. I love it. But you know that's what we're talking about. Be the partner that you desire.
Yeah.
So that desires of the heart, like mine is a practicing Christian. They don't say nothing about their salary. They don't say nothing about what car they drive. Speaking of driving cars, I have two cars. And when I go on a coffee date, I take my my errand running car. It's a 2011 Hyundai.
Hyundai.
Hyundai. And so I will drive that to the coffee date. And the other thing, even though it's a Hyundai, I will park it away from where I'm meeting the person. Well, I mean, they can walk out and see where I'm parked and see what kind of car I drive, but I take that extra precaution.
Right.
And I usually let them walk out first, and then I watch where they go, and then I leave. So that's another safety precaution. But if you have more than one car, you have a friend's car, you don't have to drive your car there. You know, because people can get information off your driver's license, off your plate,
Yeah,
off of your car.
you're right.
Yeah, but being the partner that you desire is important. And it's going to be important if you get into the relationship for compatibility. Now, some of those guys with six packs, they like a nice little soft cushion, you know,
Yeah.
and that's okay. you
Yeah.
know. But are you healthy? You know,
There you go. That's the key.
are you healthy? And at this age, you know, some of our social life involves going to the doctor. You know, you have a couple appointments during the month.
Yes.
You know, but as far as dating safely, upgrade your look, be honest, don't try to move too fast, use a burner phone, meet for a coffee date first, because you might get there and everything might have been great in the conversations and realize we really can't communicate. I can't sit across from this person for an hour if we were to have another date. And then if everything goes well, I say have a second coffee date and see, because sometimes we're all excited and, you know, we're anxious and maybe, and they're trying to be on their best behavior. So go on a second coffee date if it didn't quite go, you know, bells and whistles and all that stuff. Go on a second date and see
Right.
how that second coffee date is. Because again, remember, this is an exploration. Dating is exploring. Dating is seeing, can I sit across from that person for an hour for dinner? You know, can I travel with this person? But you need to be asking questions. Dr. Robin Smith wrote a book, Lies at the Altar. And in the back of her book, I think she's got like 240, 260 questions to ask before you get married. And I say most of those questions you should ask before you get into a relationship because it talks about family. It talks about the travel, the health, the financial, What are your values? What's important to you? Do you want children? I mean, at this age, most people don't, but some people still be trying. It seems.
Yeah.
So, but what's your family time like? Do you like being around family?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe yes, maybe no. It's okay. But those are the questions that I say ask when you're dating, not when you're engaged to get married. Go through some of this stuff. And if you can't get through it, then that says a lot. Is this something we need to resolve? Is this something we're both going to say, okay, we're not going to let that stop the relationship?
Right.
Like if somebody has a different religion from you, but you both agree, well, we both believe in God, we both believe in Jesus, I'm Methodist, you're Baptist, or, Jewish, Christian. Those things can be worked out. A lot of successful marriages have different religions, but you got to ask the questions.
Right.
Got to ask
And
the
you said that's the
questions.
key. You said something right there. A lot of people sit down there and they assume. And I was always told assumption is the of all screw ups. You got to ask that direct question sometime. And when you ask somebody a direct question, if they bob and weave around it, then okay, something's not right here. When you ask, I always tell everybody, the difference between a closed-end and open-end question. Mm-hmm. If you ask the closed-end question, yes or no, if they turn around and give you, quote-unquote, a politician answer, then 9 times out of 10, they're hiding something.
Exactly. And also, you bring up being direct about answering questions. Also look at the body language. If someone is doing this a lot, they're holding stuff back. Any of those gestures, they're holding something back. They want to say something, or there's something that needs to be said, but they're holding back.
Yeah.
So they might be saying, "Oh yeah, I'm not married."
And I got 3 kids and 1 on the way.
Or on the finger there's a band there, but there's no ring.
Yeah, I know ladies look for that little ring around there.
Yeah, be observant.
Yeah, because my wife get on my case when I'm cooking in the kitchen. I take my ring off. Mm-hmm. So if I'm marinating meat, my hands all in, I don't want to get all in the ring, so I take it off. And I have a tendency of it's sitting there right now by the sink. Mm-hmm. And she said, "When you gonna be married again?" I said, "What you mean be married again?" Your ring. I said, "Oh, okay."
That's important.
But I do that because I get so wrapped up what I'm doing.
Yeah.
It is, but I know where it is. It's right there.
Yeah, but see, we as women, we want to send that signal to other people.
Yeah,
and
I know.
So, but some guys think they're slick because they take it off or they put it on the other hand. Mm-hmm. And now you have some widowers that will still wear their ring.
Right.
And so understand that, but you ask the questions.
Mm-hmm.
Why you have a wedding ring on? And they said, well, I'm a widower, which hopefully if you're meeting in person, you already know that. They've already answered that question. So, because those are the things you want to find out up front before you get into this situation. So burner phone, being observant, having somebody know where you are. Have somebody actually come into the same Starbucks if you meet at Starbucks. Have them come in and say, "Hey, Charlene, how you doing?" And I'll be, "Hey, I'm fine." And then they go on. They're just there, but they're actually your friend, your girlfriend, or whatever, so you're not in there by yourself.
When you said that comes to back in the days I'm dating myself. You always had somebody that will call you or page you back then. They say, "Is everything okay?" And everything's not going right. "Oh, I got an emergency. Sorry, I gotta go." Mm-hmm. So well, we gonna talk. I'll call you later, and you never get the phone call back. But that was the way. I know women did that to protect each other. Mm-hmm. Matter of fact, I seen some that will go out on a date, or they're married, and they'll go to the same place they're going to.
Right.
Just sit back, make sure everything's okay.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I have had that. It's a backup because you never know. What's the guy, Bundy in California?
Yeah.
Nice looking guy, intelligent, dated a lot of people. He also killed a lot of people.
I was going to say that. He dated and killed at the same time.
Yeah. Now, most people have good intentions.
Yeah.
And so I tend to look at it, are we compatible or not? And if we're not, it's okay because that's what dating is about. dating is not a commitment. Now, if you choose to make a commitment, say, okay, we're going to date exclusively, now you're getting into relationship area.
Yeah.
And relationship area is different from dating. I have no commitment to you about anything, especially if we're in the first 5 to 10 dates.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because it depends how the dates are. They every week, every other week. You know, what's the rhythm of
Right.
that dating? And then once you start seeing, okay, yeah, you know, we're getting along, da 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 da, and then you start talking about exclusivity and being in a relationship. Some people say, "Oh, I don't need a label." Yeah, you do. Yeah, you need a label because that sets the mindset of what this is going to be. Now, maybe you don't need the label of wife or husband. That's cool, but is it going to be my partner, my close friend? I don't like that, but that's why it's hard for me to say my close friend, because I'm not in a friend zone. I'm in a relationship
zone. Yeah.
So find out how you're going to introduce each other if you decide to be in a relationship.
You know, that's a little hard. This is my girlfriend. This is my boyfriend. This is my friend. How they go about introducing each other like they when they go to a function?
Well, if you're just dating, then friend. But if you're in a relationship, this is my partner, this is my girlfriend, boyfriend. We're not kids. So some people have difficulty because I'm not a boy, I'm not a girl. But that's what everybody understands. It means you're in a relationship. This is my boyfriend, this is my girlfriend. There's some exclusivity there.
Okay.
Okay. And so there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I wouldn't say this is my man. It's my woman. I wouldn't recommend that. But you know, you find out. What there was one. It was a cute little thing. This is my little something, they would say, and you know, so they were saying, you know, they had terms of endearment, and that's how they. And this is my little. I forget what the word was, but it meant this is my special person.
Yeah.
You know, and that sends a signal out to the world that we are in a relationship. Now, if you're just dating, friend is fine, or this is Charlene, you don't even put anything, this is just Charlene, then people wonder, well, what's Charlene?
Yeah,
You know?
and what is she to you?
But
You know.
if you're just dating, it's nothing really.
Right.
You know, but once you get to relationship, but in order to get to relationship, you got to check out all the red flags. And, you know, you go on a date and this person talks about themselves all the time and don't ask you anything. Nah, that's a red flag.
Yeah.
One guy I was talking to on paper sounded great. He was very professional. He was making over 200 a year. You know, he was Christian, was a member of a church. So, you know, the things he said checked out. But we were FaceTiming and he was watching TV and I'm talking and he's doing like this the whole time, looking at the TV. And I said, "Are you listening to me?" And he goes, "Yes." I said, "What did I say?" "What?"
I'm guilty of that, but I was my wife was talking to me one day, and I was looking at TV. She said, "You're not even listening to me." I said everything back verbatim to her, everything back.
Now, see, that would have been different.
And she said, "Wait a minute, you can watch TV and that." Yeah, I can also walk and chew gum too, you know. But I listen. And for you men out there listening right now, if you're dating, if you're married, or whatever, your wife is letting you know, or your girlfriend is letting you know what they want for their birthday. If you listen to the conversation for a whole year, and you want to know what to get for her birthday, she's telling you without telling you. "Oh, I would like to have this one day. I'd like to have this one." That's a hint. You need to pick up on that.
Or my favorite cologne is such and such.
Yeah.
Or there'll be a commercial on TV.
Mm-hmm.
"Hey, going to Jamaica, huh? That would be nice."
Mm-hmm.
You know, all kinds of little hints go out there.
Yeah,
Yes.
and guys, you got to pick up on that. A lot of y'all don't. Y'all just pick up on whatever you want to pick up on, and listen to her, because she's saying something.
Yeah.
Like I listen to mine, and sometimes I got selective hearing. I'm not gonna lie to you. I got
We
selective
all
hearing.
do as humans.
It's
I
it's
mean,
just,
that's
it's
just
just.
human.
Did you hear what I said? I did, but I'm trying to phase it out. I can't get it out of my head. But we do things like that, man. We do things like that. But the only thing I could suggest is one thing that men need to do: respect that woman.
Yes.
That to me, that is open the car door, open the door going to a restaurant. Chivalry is not dead. You just haven't done it. You need to start doing it again. Because I opened the car door for anybody. If at my old place I was at, I would walk people out. And then when I get to the car, I open the car. You don't have to do it. I said, I know I didn't have to, but this is what I do. Open the car door, make sure you're getting safe, and go on your merry
And
way.
see, that says a lot. On a first date, a coffee date, if you happen to meet before you're actually inside and they open the door, that's a very nice gesture.
Yeah.
They pull the chair out for you, that's a very nice gesture. So you have to be observant. And if being a gentleman is on your desires of the heart, are they doing that first time you meet? First time you meet. I was dating somebody and they didn't open the door for me. I met them through a mutual friend, so it was a little different.
Yeah.
But they didn't open the door. So when I talked to my friend, I said, well, he's very, very nice, but he's not a gentleman. And she goes, what do you mean? I go, he didn't open the car door for me, blah, 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 blah. So then I still agreed to a second date, and because there was a whole lot more positive than that part, but
Right.
we were going to have a discussion about that, but we didn't have to because she had the discussion with him. And he opened the door and pulled the chair every time after that.
Well, see, it depends on how that man was raised.
Yeah.
Was he raised to do that? I was raised to do all that. I remember we had to learn how to set the table.
Oh yeah.
I mean, salad fork. Why is this fork shorter? That's a salad fork. It don't make me know. A fork is a fork to me. You don't understand. This is the proper way of setting the table.
Etiquette. See, that's the observance part.
Yes.
You want to be observant. Do they know how to do those things? But let me mention something else about safety and dating. So, senior citizens have the highest rate of STDs. And there's a number of reasons for that. Some people have not dated for 40 years. Okay, the last time they dated, they were in their 20s. Things were different back then. And so if you decide that you want to be sexual, protect yourself. And what I do, I go to the doctor and I get a STD panel, because you can have some things and not know that you have a STD and diseases like HIV. HIV takes a while to develop in your body, so you may have HIV and not even know. And here you are having sex with a person that you barely know, and you've passed on this virus. So you want to have that. And it doesn't hurt for you to do it on an annual basis. Some of those things, if you take the test today, 6 months later, might show something different. But at least taking the test. So you take the test and you know you're okay, or you're not okay, and then you take care of whatever it is. But you take the test and then you say, okay, I would like for you to take a test. And then you show each other the results. Now, that's medical information, that's private information. You're only going to show it if you're clean. So that's the first thing. You're not going to show it if there's a problem.
Yeah.
So everything's okay. You show it to each other. This is a step towards trust. If that person is saying they want to pursue a relationship, date you long term or whatever, this is saying I've taken the initiative to make sure my body is okay for having sexual relations. Okay, that is something that for older people I would say is a must do. A must do. One, it tells you where you are, especially if you haven't been with anyone for a long time, because women's bodies react differently to the STDs than men. Men's usually get upfront symptoms. They know they need to go get checked out.
Yeah.
But women's bodies are different. And so go get the test, request the test. Now, if they don't want to do a test, then I would say that's a red flag. And it's not necessarily a bad red flag, but they're just saying, I'm not ready for that kind of relationship.
Yeah.
Okay. And if you're still willing to be with that person, then use condoms. And if they don't want to use the condoms, then I say don't have sex with them. Because if they're not willing to protect you, you don't want that kind of relationship. They may check off a bunch of boxes on your list, but if they're not willing, because that's your life.
That's right.
You're putting your life on the line because you're not only sleeping with that person, you're sleeping with every person they ever slept with. So I just have to put that out there because some people get excited. They're having the attention. The person's doing a lot of the right things. And then, of course, we're all human and want to have that intimacy, which intimacy is not the sexual act, but you have intimacy before you have the sexual act. And then you want to protect yourself. And if that person that you're getting ready to lay down with doesn't think enough of you to protect you, then that's not a real person. That's not a real caring.
Yeah.
And so take the time. That I'm gonna give some grace here. That 30 minutes of pleasure. At this age, we're doing good with 30 minutes. If that 30 minutes of pleasure, isn't a time period of protection and caring and trust, it's not worth it.
Right.
It's not worth it because you're putting your life on the line. And, some of those retirement villages, I think we talked about this last time. Some of those retirement villages, them folks are spreading that stuff fast.
All over the place.
All over the place. So
Man.
Protecting yourself is one of the best safety tips about dating. Take care of you. You are number one. And look for the desires of the heart list, which is values and the ability to be compatible, and that you like the person first before you start looking at caring and love and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah.
All right. Boy, that hour went by quick. Golly. All right. Give any contact information, website, all that good stuff?
Yes, my website is www.seniorseekingsoulmate. I have Senior Seeking Soulmate on Facebook, on TikTok. I'm the Senior Love Coach. I have a YouTube channel, Senior Seeking Soulmate. My book, Senior Seeking Soulmate, you can find that online on the website. You can order that. My workbook is coming out with that. Hopefully next week you'll be able to get it on Amazon. It's the Senior Seeking Soulmate Companion Workbook. So that's coming out. We have the Set It Off Senior Style on Facebook, where you can always DM on that with the African American Network. So there's a lot of ways to make contact. And the thing of it is, I've been through the dating. I'm going through the dating situation process. I have had some wonderful relationships in the process. So I can be there to be your wing person, your coach, and help you find the partner that you desire.
And everybody should have. You said before we leave, you said one thing when we talked, that people live longer if they have a partner.
That's right. That's right. They do, because you're more active. You're looking out for each other. Let me do a little prevention thing. Men can help women identify breast cancer because usually there's a lump. And so men can help their women early prevention, feeling a lump in their breast. And women can help men with prostate by keeping them active. And so that prevents having sex active, prevents prostate cancer. I'll just put it out there.
Oh, wow.
And
all right. You're going to have a lot of men going out there. Come here, let me touch you.
Yeah. Hey, you might find that lump early.
Yeah. Well, that's good to know. I never thought of it like that. That's good to know that like that. Well, Dr. Smith.
Yeah.
We appreciate you coming on, and we're looking forward for the dating game.
Yeah.
We're looking forward for that taking place, and I see a lot of things happening with this right here, because this is something new to the station. We never had Senior Seeking Soulmate, a doctor here, letting us know what's going on, and that's good to have that diversity with this station. Mm-hmm. Could go ahead and go on to this. Not only are we talking about new stuff and all that, but we're talking about seniors, mm-hmm. which is large proportion of San Antonio are seniors.
A lot of retirees here. And seniors over 50, AARP lets you know you're a senior at 50. Denny's will give you a discount at 55. You can get your Social Security at 65. So anybody over 50 is a senior. And let me add one more thing here. Vote.
Thank you.
Vote. Get out and vote. I am a volunteer registrar. Vote, vote, vote. It makes a difference. And we have some important herstory being made. My sorority sister is going to be the next president, the first African American woman president.
Amen.
Let's make it happen. You can get registered. You can go to a library and get a form and mail in your registration. If you go online, you have to check on it because sometimes it's not going all the way through, but you can register online here in Texas, but check it because you may think you're registered and you're not. Check your registration if you are registered because it may not be up to date or current, and get it current so that you have no problems when you go to do early voting,
Yes.
October 21st, early voting. Get out there. I go to Lady of the Lake. I walk in 15 minutes I'm out. It's a great polling place, and you can vote at any polling place in Texas.
Well, sometimes with me being election judge, sometimes I wait till I go there and vote. But I'm at the early vote all because there's a long line. The last election, main election for president, we had people in line at 6:30.
Mm-hmm.
It was wrapped around the building.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I'm an early vote myself, and
Me too.
I tell everybody else to early vote because you never know what's going to happen.
That's right.
Get your vote in right
Get
now.
it in. And get the college students registered so they can get their absentee ballots. You know, those that are going off to college, 18, and those that are in high school, 18, get them registered. Okay, they don't have to be a graduate of high school. They have to be 18 on November 5th.
I'm glad you said that because I brought up a point on one of the shows that if you're going to turn 18 in October or even November 5th like that, you could register right now.
Yes.
You do not have to wait till October because isn't the cutoff date is October 5th?
October 5th is the cutoff for
date.
registration. You have to be registered by October 5th.
Okay, so we'll let everybody know if you're a high school student and your birthday is November 4th or even November 5th, you can still register to vote right now.
Yes.
And when you go vote, you're ready.
That's right.
All right.
Let's get it, y'all.
All right. Well,
Get it done.
Okay, appreciate you coming on board.
Thank you.
Everybody, this is Dr. Charlene Smith, Seniors Seeking Soulmates. And like she said, we'll be having some type of dating game going on. But everything, well, we got everything. I got ladies already lined up, ready to come on the show.
Yes, they can send their requests to you, and then I will do the interview because we're going to do a little semi-background check. Not going to guarantee that, it's going to be an extensive, but we'll do a little background check on people that want to participate. Like, we'll make sure their driver's license matches them, those kinds of things.
And not married.
We're going to want to show proof.
Yeah.
So we'll do those kinds of things in terms of background check. But yes, send information here to Ronald and say you're interested. Give us contact information, and we will do some interviews, and we'll start to get our people ready for the dating game.
And if y'all want to send information, go to my website, WSN Radio, and hit the contact sheet. It'll come to me, or you go to info@WSAN Radio, and I'll pass along the information to Dr. Smith over here.
Yep.
All right. Appreciate you coming on board.
Thank you.
It's 89 degrees outside, everybody. It's 4 minutes after the hour at the beautiful stations of WSAN Radio. We appreciate everybody coming on today and listening. And as I say all the time, peace and chicken grease. I'll catch everybody tomorrow morning, bright and early at 7 a.m. This is DJ Ron G on WSAN.